What company is best for you? You've probably spent more time figuring out what your takeout is tonight than answering that really important question. Let's change that today. Hi and welcome to UX Pro. My name is Tony Fernandez and I'm CEO of UE Group and the founder of the Experience Innovation Center at Purdue. Getting your first job is an amazing milestone, and it's going to take a significant part of your life. So getting it right is really important. Unfortunately, many people don't spend enough time asking themselves what the best company is for them. For some, the answer is very simple. It's whoever gave you an offer. But you may find that you're going to have multiple offers. So what then? The other way of looking at it is, how should you target companies? Who should you go after and why? That's what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to answer those questions. Although I'm going to focus on getting your first job, what I have to say applies to your second, third, fourth job. So even if you're an experienced UX designer out there and you're already employed, hopefully this is going to be helpful to you. For students that are still in school and looking for their first UX position, there's a very special kind of panic that starts to take hold when you hear classmates saying that they've already gotten a job or they have an offer coming, etc. Doubt, uncertainty, and fear are a natural part of this process, unfortunately. But I want to give you a framework of questions that you should be asking yourself first before you start asking others for advice, etc., to understand what's going to be best for you. But first, I want to give you 3 reasons that you should not base your decision on. You'll have a tremendous urge to get a job and get a job at a famous company so you can brag about it. It's only natural. You can brag about it to your family, you can brag about it to your classmates. But if that's the only thing that's driving your thinking, you'll find that satisfaction is very short-lived. It's important for you to get beyond your ego and really rationalize why that company is right for you. Just focusing on the brand is a huge mistake. Take my word for it. Even the most famous companies have incredibly crappy jobs. I know somebody who came out of an Ivy League school, went to a famous tech company, and watched porn all day to say whether it fulfilled company policies or not. I know somebody else who got a master's in human factors, was a great UX researcher, wound up driving a van. What matters is the job that you're going to get at that brand. It isn't the brand itself. Hey, there's nothing wrong with wanting some money.
Show me the money!
This is really a life philosophy issue. Some people will always take whatever the highest offer is. They'll also go shopping for the cheapest thing. That's all totally cool. But it really depends on what kind of person you are. If you're looking for quality of life and those other kinds of issues, you shouldn't be basing your decision solely on what the salary is. Plus, there's issues of where the job is. That salary may vaporize if you're going into a really expensive area.
Enough talk!
Okay, here are the 5 questions that you should really be asking yourself. Large organizations have certain advantages. They have enormous resources. Hey, the parties can be amazing. Lots of cool stuff happening there. But there's definitely some downsides. For example, you tend to be a fish in a really big pond in a large company. They tend to pigeonhole you in certain skills, in certain kinds of jobs, and you don't necessarily get a lot of chance to explore other areas because there are so many people there already. Small companies offer more opportunity to do more skills, to try out different things, and to be given greater responsibilities in general. It's something you should take into account when you're making this choice. I also find that small companies provide a truer sense of teamwork. The UX field has become incredibly diverse. You can get jobs that have to do with communication and marketing, or you can get jobs around product design and an extension of R&D efforts. It's really up to you, but if you have a preference, take that into account as you're shopping around for companies. Certain companies do one thing well, and if you go work there, you have to sign up for the prospect that you're going to be doing that one thing for an extended period of time. And that's totally cool, especially if it's an area that you want to specialize in. However, if you don't want to specialize in a certain area, you may want to find companies that have more diverse sets of problems they're solving, more diverse clients. For example, an agency falls into that category. They tend to do a lot of different work for a lot of different people. The other decision is whether you're specializing in research, design, or you want to be a generalist. Either way, it's best for you to position yourself along one of those lines, because you'll find that many of the job postings say that they're looking for researchers, designers, and even if they're not, if you read into the details, they tend to slant a certain way. So where do you want to work? COVID has provided a lot of choices. You can work at home, and hopefully soon, work in your office. Kinda, but do you want to work in a certain metro area that has meaning to you? Do you want to work in an area that has a certain lifestyle, like you like the outdoors, and maybe you want to hike a lot, and you want quick access to that? You should really be thinking about what kind of life you want to lead, because there's more than just work.
You city folk, you worry about a lot of shit.
Do you like to work in a group, or do you like to work alone? Companies are set up very differently in terms of their culture, and you should take that into account when you're making your selection. As we're coming out of the pandemic, the very nature of work is changing right now, but the fundamentals aren't any different, and these questions apply during the COVID age and after the COVID age. I know that for some of you, this process can bring a lot of doubt and uncertainty.
But what I'd really like to do is something extraordinary.
Have faith. Things will work out. It just may take a little longer than you want it to. Well, thank you for joining me today. If this was useful to you, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more related content, subscribe. Until then, be a pro.